the Ukraine proxy war train. New information about that. U.S. corporations continue to cash in on Ukraine's oil and gas and other aspects, resources inside Ukraine. I have covered this before. However, there are new updates on it. I've covered the gutting of Ukraine. It's being sold off to various large corporate players, mainly corporate America. And so in many ways, this is part of what the proxy war was about. Why don't we chop up something that is a traditionally part of the Russian Empire? You know, traditionally it has been part of the Soviet Empire when there was a Soviet Union. It was part of the Soviet Union. So let's take a piece of a longstanding ally of Russia, chop it up, turn it against Russia, and sell it for parts to the American empire. And that's what we're seeing. I mean, it is being sold off. So much so that Zelensky rang the opening bell on fucking Wall Street. Zelensky rang the opening bell on Wall Street and said Ukraine is open for business. How is that? That's quiet part loud, my friends. That's like, don't you just pull him aside and go, hey, maybe this is PR wise, maybe this isn't the best move to open the Wall Street, open the stock exchange and go, hey, anybody wants to buy up Ukraine, go for it. Because we are for sale. But this part is a newer update. U.S. corporations are cashing in on Ukraine's oil and gas. Of course, Biden's son has cashed in on Ukraine oil for a while now. Hunter Biden was on the board of Burisma, the largest, I think it was the largest, one of the largest oil and gas companies in Ukraine, collecting $50,000 a month. But as the war in Ukraine drags on, the government is selling off state assets in a big privatization spree. U.S. fossil fuel corporations like ExxonMobil, Chevron, and Halliburton are participating in discussions to take over the Eastern European nation's oil and gas industry as Kiev pushes to increase production to replace Russian energy exports. This comes soon after Ukraine's Western-backed leader, Zelensky, sent a friendly video message to a U.S. corporate lobby group thanking companies like BlackRock, JP Morgan, Goldman Sachs, and Starlink, and promising big business for others. Thanking BlackRock, JP Morgan, Goldman Sachs. These are the worst of the worst, my friends. These are the massive parasites sucking off of all of us, sucking the shit out of everybody in this world, getting immensely wealthy. BlackRock alone has $8.6 trillion that it manages, $8.6 trillion. And just a quick reminder, if you make $40,000 after taxes a year, which is not a bad take home, then in order to make $1 trillion, you would need to work for roughly 25 million years. That's not a joke. That's literal math. Literal math that happened just now. 25 million years. So I recommend you get started if that's your aim. If $1 trillion is your aim, get started now because it's gonna take you a little while. This comes soon after Ukraine's Western-backed leader, I already did that. In September, Zelensky also symbolically opened the New York Stock Exchange, announcing that his country is open for business, offering more than $400 billion in public-private partnerships, privatization, and private ventures for U.S. companies. So there's immense wealth that is being stolen in resources, etc. This is stolen from... Wow, did I just cut out? This is being stolen from the Ukrainian people. The Ukrainian people have the right to the resources in their country, right? That's how it should be. That's how it would be in an equal and just world. The people of a country would get the bounty of the land of their goddamn country. Now, of course, if they dealt with it properly, they do it in a sustainable way. So, you know, you cut down 2 trees, you plant 2 over here, and everything's going okay. And you don't cut down like old growth and stuff like that. Anyway, you get that point. But in general, the people of a country should benefit from these resources, but instead it is being sold off to largely American, but it doesn't really matter. We are much of the world is a corporatocracy, and these companies are larger than most nations. So when you say American corporations, oh, you mean Google that's headquartered in Ireland or the Isle of Wight or what? It doesn't. None of that really matters because the nation states are largely used just to keep all of us scared and in line and yelling at immigrants. That guy came from over there. Oh, kill his wife and children. It doesn't it's largely used just to fuck with us, you and me. It's not the global multinationals. They don't give a shit other than for their own power. Anyway, so Ukraine is being sold for parts to the richest people in the world, like ExxonMobil, BlackRock, JP Morgan, and the U.S. Whether you get, I think this is the difference between the way the ruling elite, this tiny cabal of assholes that runs things, this tiny cabal of holier than thou shitbags, they don't view things in terms of, hey, they don't view things in terms of peace or war that much. I mean, the U.S. is always at war. It doesn't really, they don't really care. They view things in terms of how do we enrich ourselves, whether there's war, whether there's no war, whether people die, whether there's millions of refugees, doesn't matter. It's just how do we take things and enrich ourselves. So the Ukraine war is benefiting all of these massive conglomerates that are now stealing the resources for themselves. And so in that way, these corporations are the winner of the war. Sure, one day, maybe tomorrow, maybe in a year, Russia and Ukraine will come to some sort of, I assume, peace table agreement. But by that point, so much of Ukraine will have been sold off that those will be the real winners. And the real losers will be anybody who's not running BlackRock. They'll be the real losers.